Hopefully everything's working. Hey everybody, we're about to get started, so everybody buckle up. George, you good? Do you have any? When was the last time you were on? Has it been like 10 years?
No.
We talked about Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, so it had to be, that would have been just January, Feb?
January. It could have been December when they announced it.
Was it December they had that last?
No, it
Civic
had to have been
Play?
this year. It
It
wasn't
had to
that
be
long ago.
January, right?
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure. I didn't know where you were with the bets and.
Yeah.
Ooh, this week's bet's still relevant. Okay, I wrote this last week, but it should still work. All right, let's get going. It is Saturday, April 18th, 2020, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I am Alex O'Neill, your host this evening for this podcasting adventure that we are finally embarking on after a nice long week off. And joining me, as always, we have the wonderful Scott Guthier.
Hello.
Tony Horvath. He disappears.
He's dead.
That might have been his microphone.
That might have
dying.
been Tony's mic's been having some issues, so he might have to
He might have to dip.
he
That
might have to
have
dip
been
to figure that out. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
gone.
that's it. Rest
Tony
in peace.
Horvath,
Goodbye.
rest in peace.
Hello and goodbye.
He lived as he loved. Tony's having some mic issues. Sorry, all. But also joining us, Brian Nobishin Jackson.
Hell yeah!
And of course, Mr. George Cruz Alvarez.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, internet. How's the quarantine life treating you, George?
It's good. I was mentioning it before we started recording that the days are running together, but the days at the same time feel short. Like the days themselves, like it's like the day is over. Like as it starts, it feels like I don't know. It's wild. So
Yeah,
but I'm good.
They just there's a lot of bleeding the days together. There's a lot of I didn't know how much time was passing, but I guess it was a lot.
Yeah, like it's May almost.
Yeah, we're halfway through
It's
April.
crazy.
And this started in March and for the realsies.
Mid March. Yeah.
But yeah, I've been moving, so this is the last podcast to be recorded at IP Studio Beta, whatever we want to call this. Which is it's cool. I'll give you guys for anyone
Is
watching.
Beta the third?
It's Beta the third. Sorry, the house that I started the show in, and then the apartment, then the house that blew up, and then this.
Right. I forgot about that one.
So yeah. No one remembers the house that blew up. We didn't get it there though. That was not. It was. I was only there for 5 months, so I won't necessarily let it be like a full number. But I guess Delta would be the third. As there's no C in the Greek alphabet. So, yeah, this is the Delta Studio. On to Gamma. As with many things, on to Gamma. I'll give the video viewers, this is the big pan shot. If you pan around here,
Oh wow.
we're actually just looking at a big old fucking empty room with nothing in it. That's
Holy moly.
That's the trick of the camera. So I'm literally sitting on a couch in the middle of a room with nothing around me. So I mean, my TV, my PS4, Xbox One are still here, so I'm gonna play that tonight. But yeah, this is it. So it's a momentous time. Apologies, we weren't here last week. That was my fault. It's figuring out life, moving situations. But we're here. We're back. George, you're here. I'm excited. We're gonna talk about some video games. Tony, unfortunately, unable to be here, I guess, as we now know. But let's start off with a little bit of housekeeping. Irrational Passions podcast live every Saturday, typically, except for last week, around 7 p.m. Eastern time. We talk about video games here. You can listen to the edited, fun, truncated show on Tuesday mornings. But if you are unfamiliar with irrationalpassions.com, it's where we're from, it's where we're about. You should go check it out. Cool stuff went up there this week. 3 things. I guess we missed last week. So, new podcast on irrationalpassions.com. I'm very excited about it. It's a monthly podcast. It's called A Trip to Nintendo Land. It is a Nintendo podcast. I'm hoping this could be the first one that we get Scott Guthier on. I'm thinking this could be it, Scott. You're a Nintendo pro, so maybe get your final Luigi's Mansion 3 thoughts on there. I don't know. Could be the time. But I guess like looking at last week as well, there's been a bunch of episodes of Raccoon City Radio have gone up. If you've been missing them, Andrew Taylor sat down with the folks from DualShockers that played and reviewed it. Mario Rivera, Logan Moore. We're still like slowly chipping away through the game. We've kind of gotten through the second Nemesis fight. If you want to catch up on the podcast and listen through there, and Jarrett wrote a feature about B-Town City. Treachery in B-Town City proves that urban games are better when written by urban people. I think you edited that one, George, right?
Yep.
How was it? I haven't read that one yet.
It's very good. I think it does a good job of sort of going outside of games. And specifically, it's a very Treachery B-Town City is a very New York video game. I feel like a lot of media nowadays is skewing to living in New York, and so Jarrett has insight about what that area is like, and so it's very good. I like it a whole lot. It's very, very, very good. I would recommend reading it, even if you're like, it's more about the context of the game than mechanically speaking, but it's good.
Yeah, you can always wholeheartedly recommend a Jarrett Green feature.
I agree. He's been on fire lately, I think.
Yeah, he's on top of it. I feel like 100% of the time he's got that spitfire writing. But that's all on irrationalpassion.com. Let's get back to what we do best. That's talking about video games. I've been playing some video games. Y'all have been playing some video games. George, it's been a minute. Let's check in with you.
Yeah.
Man. What's you been playing?
Sure. So, quarantine life, it's sort of, I have more time, but at the same time, like I mentioned, I don't know where the time has gone. So, I finished Doom Eternal. I know you have some takes on that as well, Alex.
I haven't actually gotten to talk about it all yet.
So, yeah, maybe we can just get it done here. But yeah, I started and finished Doom Eternal.
It seems like it's been a trek for you, man.
Yeah, I think. I'm glad I'm not alone in this. I think the general consensus on this game is it's a fantastic video game that is weighed down by some decisions they made that I think just don't serve the very clean and tight nature that was Doom 2016, unfortunately. But it's still a fantastic video game. But yeah, I finished it, and I think I feel. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's fine. I played all I played was the first level, because it was one of those things where I was playing Resident Evil 3, Final Fantasy 7, kind of going back and forth between those two. I was like, I should play my Xbox to mix it up. I bought this. I haven't played it at all yet, and it's definitely like starting with Persona. I'm like in a super JRPG mood, so it's really not necessarily what I'm looking for right now. But I wanted to play it. I wanted to get a taste for it, and you and Jared have been kind of going back and forth about it for, I feel like, weeks in Slack. So I was curious. I'll tell you, that first level feels a lot like Doom 2016. It really didn't necessarily give me a lot more than that. Not that it needs to. For your reference, you get the grenade launcher.
Yeah.
You get the shotgun and the assault rifle, the heavy assault rifle. And
no pistol this time.
No, thank God, dude. Getting the shotgun right away and having that was man, that's terrible that you had to suffer through the pistol for 10 minutes in that game, and it feels like an eternity in 2016. But you fight a lot of those crab dude, the brain crabs. I honestly don't really like them. So I feel like I'm gonna fight a lot of them though. But it was cool. It was
I thought from get-go something was wrong with that game. And I think it's
I kind of get that.
The tutorial is very heavy. And it is a stop pop-up window that takes you to this Street Fighter 5 training room where you gotta use your move. And I was like, what is this? I don't know what's going on here.
And one of them's for the double jump, and it's all right, guys, I fucking get it. The rest of this game is so absurdly video gamey, and yet you think I cannot comprehend a fucking double jump.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
It is weird.
I think the weirdest thing about it, because I played a little bit of it as well.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting because 2016 was pretty much similar to God of War, I guess you would say, is a one-shot game where just you're just going through something and the environment's all around you and nothing's really stopping you from being in control almost entirety of the game. Sure, there's like loading points where you have to like load to the next map or whatever, but like for the most part, it's just like a seamless type of transition through the game. But like I was like feeling like the same way you were, George. Like these moments, even the cutscenes in the game, were just like they just completely just halt you, and like you have to pay attention. They put this stuff in your face, and it's like this feels very different from what you felt.
Like the camera comes out because all the cutscenes I think in Doom 2016 were from the perspective of the Doom Slayer, if I remember correctly. I think you're right. There is that third person camera in there.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of the Doom Slayer as well, which you hadn't really seen him before. And he looks like the Doom guy, made 3D, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is weird. Like there's an offness to it right from the get go. But to be fair, any moment in that game that I don't have the super shotgun, in my opinion, is a moment wasted. So
and the weird relationship I have with Doom is that I never used the super shotgun in 2016 the first time I played it. It wasn't until I learned after that people was like, oh, that was the gun everyone used for the entire time. So that was interesting.
Literally every other gun was like my in-between super shotgun guns. But like I talked about that gun so much on the show. I feel like Michael P. Huber, right? Of like I've had dreams about this fucking gun. And it is so good, but like it is great because you can find it a level early in 2016 if you explore the secret areas, and it's just like so vindicating when you discover it and all that. But yeah, there's just like an offness to Eternal right from the get go, and it feels.
I mean, with all that being said, though, like I don't think I could go back to 2016 as far as playing it. Like, it's like one of those things. It's one of those things where like the memory of 2016 is like it's going to be like a really cool thing to remember. But like as far as like playing it, I feel it's going to be like so slow in comparison to Eternal.
I thought the same thing. And Hugo Martin, who's the game's director, said that on his interview with Danny on the No Clip podcast. Like, yeah, you can't go back. And video games, specifically sequels to video games, like are the problem. I think a shame of the medium is that since it is an iterative medium, it kind of makes the game that came before it not as good now. And you can't tell someone who likes Grand Theft Auto 5 and that's their first Grand Theft Auto, go play Vice City. It's my favorite Grand Theft Auto game, but there was a time and place, right? You can't enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to happen with Doom 2016, but I agree. Like starting off that game, it's a lot slower, but going back to my save file where I unlocked some of the fast stuff, I was like, this is perfect. This is it. The only thing that's missing is the dash. The dash is a huge thing that's missing.
Yeah, I don't have any of this yet, so I guess it's not really sunk into me.
Yeah. There's a dash later to make the platforming stuff more possible. I think coming off of Doom Eternal, for me, it has sort of made the legend of Doom 2016 even more greater.
Sure.
Where you can see the choice. Now you have like something to compare it to. Like you have this game where I think back in the day, Doom 2016 was such a surprise because they got the tone right, they got the combat right, they got the exploration right, the story right,
the music right,
and it was impressive. It felt almost like they accidentally ran into this perfect formula.
Totally.
And am
I frozen? Or is it just George? Okay.
What's that?
You froze for a second there, bud.
Okay.
Yeah, you dropped dead for about like 10 seconds and we missed a whole lot.
It was perfect. It was 2016 was, that is. Yes,
2016 was that. And so I went into this game going full confidence that I think they knew what they were doing, and I still this isn't to say that they're not talented, but it's just like you guys went too far, and I don't know how you don't stop yourself knowing how good Doom 2016 was, and you realize that you went too far.
It's one of those things where it's like when a game comes out and it's special, that like you'll know the director knows that how they make when they make their games, like how special they actually made to like to the audience, I should say. Something like a Sweary, like a
Sweary 65,
yeah, 65, yeah, like with Deadly Premonition, like. You didn't know like he can actually catch that tone again, and then like D4 came out like, oh, okay, so you totally get what we liked about those games, so that's why you made pretty much D4.
And that's rare though. Like it's the thing is like people took to Deadly Premonition, or at least you and I did. I think because like that game is so that guy, and he's authentic to that mentality, right? It's all like, I think of like, maybe, I guess it's not true. Maybe it's like Kojima has slowly become that, maybe like, but like, he was that guy. Metal Gear Solid 1 connected with these people and they love it, and then he made 2 and like doubled down on it, right? Like, you can see where like people get what works and what doesn't, and it definitely does have. But like, I'm trying to think of like a good, maybe like Gears 4 to 5. I think is maybe an example of like, maybe you guys don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, of like, maybe this just isn't this. You're going in the wrong direction, or you're doing too much of this. It's rare, I think, to see that.
So, and it's interesting. Like, IGN's been doing this series where they have game developers watch speedruns, and so they've already had the Doom Eternal one, and you can already hear sort of small notes that they got the message on stuff they did wrong.
Okay.
And I think, and it's interesting. Like, I feel bad, like, because it's obvious that they took all of the positive, like all the feedback when Doom 2016 came out. They eternalized it, and they were so happy about it. And they went to Doom Eternal, and they tried to work off that feedback and make something bigger and better. And I think now knowing, because whenever you hear Hugo talk, you always heard him reference Giant Bomb. It's like,
right.
Always. It's clear that he knows how much they love that game. And now it is clear that they don't even want to, some of them don't even want to finish the game.
Damn. I haven't listened to Giant Bombcast in like a year and a half, so I don't know where they're at.
So it's a bummer.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's still a fantastic game. I think one thing that is clear that they have upped is fucking the soundtrack is so much better than Doom 2016, and 16 is fantastic. And this, like, I can't. What's his name? I can't. Man, what's his name? Off the top of my head. I usually know it, but he really outdid himself. Like, it is fucking phenomenal. And yeah, also the story's a mess. We don't have to keep going on Doom Eternal, but I think
you guys talk about the story a lot, but I don't know. Like, I like the Doom 2016 story a lot. So
no, Doom 2016 storyline's fantastic.
Oh yeah, that story is like
it's
great.
subtle. It's subtle and
so
fun,
good. It's
and it's silly.
done so smartly.
Yeah.
And this one I think is a mess.
Okay, I'm excited. Honestly,
weird
part of me like makes me want to not play it, but part of me makes me want to play it more. I'm curious, like,
Mick Gordon, sorry.
Mick Gordon, yes, I think he outdid himself, and that's a heavy task. The Doom 2016 soundtrack in itself is as good, if not better, than the game that it is scoring. Like, it is fantastic. So, yeah. Some great skyboxes in this game. Some great,
I can already tell
skyboxes are fantastic in this game.
And just like big lumbering monsters that just look awesome.
Yes.
Like, not to like steal George's thunder, but like because we're talking about something that's like a fundamentally good game that like just has problems and like
oh yeah, we're gonna talk about a couple of those today.
Yeah, like I really want to talk about Resident Evil 3 like real fast.
Okay,
like,
yeah,
sure. I haven't played it yet, so I'm excited.
Yeah, because like I'm having a ball with that game. I love that game.
Me
Like,
too.
It really reminded me, like, as far as like, man, like I just really like this formula as far as like playing this game, as far as like Resident Evil games in general. Like, I just like this formula. I like this game flow. I like all these bits about the game. But there are like certain elements in that game that are just straight up just terrible.
Really?
Like there's certain situations where it's like this is one scene like in particular that I remember with me playing as Carlos, and then like it was just like me opening the door and there's like a flood of zombies coming in. There's a flood of them, and it's like, okay, but like I'm just trying to get through the door, and it's like, sure, I can shoot you down, that's fine, whatever. But like they just kept coming, and like it's the zombies from Resident Evil 2, which is like, you know, one headshot is not going to do anything to them. You have to do like maybe 10 headshots.
And Carlos has an assault rifle, which is basically garbage.
Yeah, and it's just like it just feels so just not right. It just feels so generally just like it's a flat out terrible thing. I feel like as far as like the gameplay for that game. I mean, regardless though, like I still love the game, and it's like it's one of those things where like it's better than a 7, but like it's probably like a 7.5 or an 8. Where I would say like as far as like it's a game that I think is solid, is polished, is really good. I love playing every second of it. But like the fact that like Nemesis is just basically a set piece, and like how the zombies are just like it's like it works for Resident Evil 2, but it doesn't work for Resident Evil 3. Those tanky zombies, like it's kind of just like
it's funny because like I don't mean to cut you off, but we were like when Andrew and I have been talking about it, like I really like how many zombies there are a lot, because it gives that kind of feeling of like you're in the thick of it more. And obviously it does change when like time pass, like there's a lot of leaps of time in that game. And it maybe it makes like less sense for like certain parts there to be a lot of zombies around. But I like that stuff because it's different. It makes it feel different than 2 for me. And like for me, 3 as a whole has just been kind of like a more focused, action-paced 2 versus like horror-paced 2, or like a horror action-paced Resident Evil. And it's been just moving at such a nice clip, and it's so tight and focused. Like, yeah, I guess I enjoy the kind of differences, like the multiple zombies and the tanky zombies in those different contexts. What is weird is when like you shoot a zombie and like their part explodes instead of like dismembering, and that's like the technical kind of limitations of 3. There's no dismemberment on the zombies. Andrew had to point this out to me. I didn't realize it.
I know.
But it is there's like a really actiony part of that game that I just did, because I just finished The Hospital, for your point of reference. And there's the zombies, when they die, they just explode into a gush of blood because they have to clear the screen for more zombies to come, and it doesn't look good. I'll be honest about that, at least. What were you going to ask, George?
Has anyone tried the easy mode in this game? Is there an easy mode?
There is an easy mode. I haven't tried it.
Because I wonder if I'm curious, because in Resident Evil 3, and this was always, I found it interesting. This is a small detail. The original Resident Evil 3, if you went to easy mode, you started off with an assault rifle with like 3 clips and like a bunch of acid grenades, I think, in your lockbox. So I wonder if they did that, because yeah, I don't know. It's not the Resident Evil 3 remake. I haven't played it yet. I'm gonna play it once it goes down in price. It's fascinating that Resident Evil 3 has come out, the remake, as critically as Resident Evil 3 came out back in 99 or 98. Whenever, I think it has to be 99, can't be 98. Yeah, whenever it came out. Right, it's like a 7.5. Like Resident Evil 3 was always a 7.5, and then the remaster is a 7.5. It seems shorter though. It sounds shorter from what I hear.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Like there's certain elements, like the clock tower's not in that game, and like
wow,
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
This was stuff lost on me. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
you see it.
There's certain elements cut out. There's no choices. And like Nemesis is literally a set piece. Like he doesn't like follow you around like Mr. X does. Like it's like
one part where he does it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's more of like you'll see him like bust through a wall.
They're Uncharted chase sequences. Like
basically,
remember when the truck showed up in Uncharted 2? It's that.
Yes.
You shoot back at him.
Well, he's not in the title anymore, so
yeah.
There you go.
The thing is, like, again, me being so worried about that going into it, like that's definitely my preferred way of them doing it. Because
that demo, I remember.
He's a lot. Like it's when he's there, he ain't no slouch, dude. He's fucking lifting. But you know, there's some. I think the moments that you still have with Nemesis are great. Like the rocket launcher sequence, I thought was so fun. I thought it was so cool. And again, you can blow a big old crate out of Nemesis. You can hit that boy real hard. He'll drop you weapon upgrades. Which is cool. I didn't think they would bring that back. So, but yeah, I'm glad you're still liking it though.
Oh yeah, I love that game. I still gotta finish it. Like I'm like pretty much at the end. Like I played like 5 hours of the game, so I probably got like 10 more minutes of the game left. So.
Yeah, Andrew said I have about an hour left ahead of me.
Nice. I'd love to play. I get just waiting for it to.
Sure.
Price.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's like you should wait on it, because like I don't think I was never gonna play it regardless, but like Resistance doesn't seem like the strongest selling point to make that $60. So like
perhaps the best Resident Evil Online thing they've ever done though. They haven't had great track record, but it sounds not terrible.
Yeah, you're right.
So good work.
What else you been playing, George?
Yeah, real quick. I wrote about this on the site. I've been playing Disaster Report 4 here and in there. It's not definitely not it's an interesting curiosity of a video game. It is very much like a weird. It feels like a weird PS2 import. They got a localization. It's a bizarre game. It is sort of an adventure game that you are surviving an earthquake and trying to pick up the pieces. It's got a strange sense of humor. It's a bizarre video game, and I like messing around with weird things, just in general, but especially now that I'm stuck at home all along, and I don't know. But yeah, that's Disaster Report 4. I don't really have much to say on that one.
Have you played the series before?
I have. I played like 30. I have one of the PS2 games. I bought it, and I remember playing it with my friend, and we couldn't figure out a puzzle. And so I haven't played it since. Actually, that's probably what game I'm going to put in my PS2 and play maybe today or tomorrow.
Hell yeah,
think about it, because I forgot I owned it.
My people.
But
yeah. Yes, welcome. Nobs are like, yes, come, welcome to our club.
The biggest game I think that's got my attention now that I'm fully 100% committed. I think I've gone on this podcast twice and talked to, like, there have been multiple times where I have been like, oh, I'm playing Tales of Vesperia again. I'm playing Tales of Vesperia again.
Yeah.
This time I think I am fully locked into seeing it to the end. I think that game.
You got a long way to go, my friend.
But that game definitely, it feels like it has like all right, tutorial over after 10 hours. If you can beat this guy, you're pretty much in the game. And that's that wolf. I forget his name, but there's this wolf boss.
Karabos or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. That just freaking wipes you if you're not.
Tough,
if you've been playing that game like me, just pretty much pressing the A button over and over again, the game finally asks you to like strategize a little bit, like actually maybe attach the fucking poison resistance item for the fucking poison enemy, you idiot.
Yeah.
And other things, but yeah, and I feel like, and I asked you about this, Alex, that I felt like the beginning of the game has like the most like, it's the start of an adventure, like, oh, we have to go deliver this thing, and then turns out the thing you delivered is this crazy MacGuffin, whatever the hell.
Yeah, it's MacGuffin.
Like the game starts off
central. You start chasing people eventually, and that becomes more interesting.
Yeah, like you gotta find the Blastia thief, and then it's like, it feels like I just met Flynn, and it feels like what's actually the meat of the game. At least I expect.
Yeah, once you get to Capua Nor, and you you're like, oh, there's like an oppressive civilization, and like people, like the poor people, like there's a huge income gap that is like causing a lot of problems in this society, and people with Blastia are people with power. Huh.
Yeah, so
they start layering it on there, and then it becomes like an environmentalism story. It's very Final Fantasy VII, honestly, and it's cool.
So yeah, I'm excited to keep on going with it. It's a good. I kind of needed something to like. I like the grinding. I needed something like while I'm listening to podcasts or whatever.
Fun to grind in that game too. It's just a fun game to play around. So like once you like when you left the Emmett Hill, which was where you fought the wolf boss. That's when you get your first tent, and they explain how to do that. So then now you'll be able to like rest and grind in the open world, like the overworld, and just like fight dudes. And what's cool is, and you'll start to see it, there's going to be some weather, like the world has like different weather states that it'll be in, and you'll find different rarer enemies during like inclement weather and stuff to just look out for.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. All right, so I assume you're just playing as Yuri, right?
Yes.
What do you think of the characters so far?
And that's the thing. Like, I think is it Estelise? Is that her name?
Estelle.
Yeah, Estelle. I was like, what is it? I think at the beginning of the game she was very grating. But now she's growing on me. I like her. I don't have a character that I love. I mean, I love the fucking Repeat because he's a dog.
Repeat is the coolest.
He's cool as hell. But I haven't gone super attached with any of the characters yet. And that's the thing. Again, I'm waiting for like, all right, what is the thing that has people so fascinated with this video game?
There's a moment for sure. It's going to be
than it's like a solid in terms of gameplay. Like that's so
like thinking like my thing about that. Obviously, characters are always going to own it for games. Like we're going to talk about Final Fantasy VII in a little bit, but like the characters are the heart of that game, and I really think they're top tier. I think Tales of Vesperia has like the 9 characters party members you get in that game are like just some of my like as a collective. Like it's funny because coming right off of Persona 5 Royal, I would say like. Now and because Royal's changed my perspective on all the things, like man, the Phantom Thieves are like probably my favorite JRPG squad, period. And like that whole collective, and it's a lot of people, and there's a different dynamic with each of them, and they lean into that in Royal in a great way. But like the 9 group in Vesperia, Brave Vesperia, the title that they'll eventually come to own, is like they're so true to themselves at great times. Like you've met Estelle, so she's like this very kind person, and she'll often kind of throw herself into harm's way to heal people and help people. And Yuri is a similar way, but like he has like these convictions that like he thinks criminals should be fucking hung up, dude. Like he thinks they should be killed, and like they are put in challenging situations where their ideologies get to clash. They get to talk about it. They get to make decisions that other people are very unhappy with, and they have to like talk it out. Like it's just that these characters present themselves in a way, and then they follow through with that. It's not shallow. It's not surface level. Like you see them commit actions that they regret and that affect the other characters, and there's so much like character work in that game that is just really, really great. And the only reason I was asking is like Yuri really stuck out to me right from the get-go, and a lot lot of that is Troy Baker, and he does such a great job.
Yeah, man. What? So okay,
the beta guy. You can talk about it.
Yeah, explain to me, because I understand that this game has content that was not in the original 360 release.
Yes,
but it feels so sporadic and random when they switch from Troy Baker to this other guy, and it is so random and like just like. Sometimes it feels like mid-conversation.
It does happen mid-conversation multiple times.
Like, why? Like,
so
how...
all of the original lines of dialogue are untouched. All the original lines of VO are untouched. Everything that was re-recorded, sentences that were altered and had to be re-recorded, or scenes that were not voice acted before but are voice acted now, which there are a lot of, so those you'll run into a lot.
Yeah, because there's a lot. Everything's voice acted. It feels
everything is voice acted now. That was part of the when they did the PS3 version. It's like we're gonna do fully voiced now. There's still some side quests that aren't, but they really don't matter that much or as much.
That makes more sense.
But yeah, so there's a lot of things that were just not voice acted before, and now they are, and now it's the new ones. So
that's why it's random.
It's the same voice actors for Estelle, Rita, and Carol, and then Yuri, Judith, and Flynn. Flynn's the same, but Yuri, Raven, Judith, they're all new. So you'll hear a lot of it, and it's not just going to be. I think Troy Baker stands out the most because his voice is the most recognizable, but it's not just his character; it's other ones too, and it's weird. Some of the villains also have new lines of dialogue, and only one of the villain voice actors came back, which is a bummer.
Interesting. Is that why it always boot up and ask me about voice? Jesus.
Maybe because again, the Japanese voice acting, because it was done like back to back, all totally one, but like it. It's a bummer, and it hurts for the experience, I think, but it doesn't ruin it. I really don't think it's that big a deal. And most of the original voice acting, it is still mostly the original voice acting by a pretty wide margin. So, but yeah, I'm so stoked to hear you're still playing it. You're having fun with it still. So the thing I'll recommend, I have like a side quest guide. It's a very non-spoilery, but there's a lot of really cool hidden side quests that are kind of obtuse to find. I can send that to you if you're interested.
Yeah, I think you sent it to me last time and I lost it. So
okay, I'll resend it because you get extra weapons, you get extra scenes, you get a ton of like really great moments if you do the side quests. And if you haven't, the moment you're gonna start losing access to things is the moment you leave the continent. So you're at the port town, so you can still go back all the way back to where you need to see some of these side quests. So.
Oh, interesting. But can you not go back once you leave?
It's just once you go back, the triggers aren't there anymore.
Oh,
so like there's a thing if you go back to Emmead Hill now That's super important. There's a thing if you go back to Rita's house right now, it's super important. Again, I have these memorized because I'm a fucking crazy person.
I wish there was a map in this game also.
There is.
Is there? How do I access it?
And you can, there's actually 3 different versions of the map you can have up on the world map. One that's small, one that's big, and one that's like full screen. It's
really
one of the buttons to toggle through it. I don't know.
Okay. Again, this is the thing. Like, I'm fortunate enough that I remember most of the stuff in the long gaps I've had between this game.
Yeah.
But there's stuff that like I forgot about cooking completely until.
Yeah, totally. And
doesn't spare you.
The thing is, like, you cook certain recipes with certain characters, and then you learn new recipes because it was that character that did that and mastered it. It's a lot of stuff in that game. It's very good.
Okay.
Anything else you've been playing?
Yeah. This is I finally got a code for Spin Rhythm. I previewed it at PAX. Got sent the beta. This is if folks didn't listen to that episode, this is a rhythm game, indie rhythm game, where you have a mouse that you have this rotating wheel. Instead of like you have the sort of rock band traditional track of notes coming down, but you're not hitting the notes necessarily. You're catching them. You have this wheel that's pink and blue, and so when you move the mouse left or right, the wheel moves. So you're catching those notes, and then you're also spinning your little wheel with the flick of the wrist with the mouse. And then it's supposed to emulate sort of like a DJ turntable.
Got it.
It has music by Lena Raine, Maxo, fucking what's his name? He did that Jet Set Radio tribute album, Too Mellow, and some other folks. It has Hyper Potions who did the Sonic Mania music in it. I can see why this is early build. There's not a lot of songs. I'm still going through it, but I'm playing that. Also, I dropped officially, I think, Luigi's Mansion 3. I think I'm not going to play anymore Luigi's Mansion.
How far did you get?
I made it up to the castle floor.
That's like not far at all.
I mean, I might keep. I don't know. I'm not.
Do you have a friend to play it with?
I think I started playing it with Don Joe, and then she was like, "I don't play this." So, yeah, I don't know. I might keep popping into it like every once in a while because I own it, but I don't. It's such a gorgeous video game, but I don't think I like Luigi's Mansion. Just like the formula, I think.
Really? Okay.
I think so.
I love it. So.
Like it's incredible how good that game looks.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, think about like Odyssey and them like applying that to the game. It's like they nailed it. Wow.
It looks so good, especially like for a third party. Like looks so good.
Yeah, I've always wanted a Ghostbusters video game. I think somewhere in my heart, and I think Luigi's Mansion is just it. It's just that's what it is. It came in the form of something else, and I love it. So.
And also, I think I also decided to drop it because I made some banana bread for some friends, and then I mentioned this passively to her, and because I saw that she owned Astral Chain, and I was like, "Oh, I wanted to play that," and she was like, "I don't like it," and I was like, "Okay." And then when I delivered the banana bread, she's like, "Oh, hey, here's Astral Chain if you want to play it." I was like, "Ah, great." I just don't have time right now. I got to clear some stuff, so nice. I'll play Astral Chain sometime soon.
That's a good hookup, though. I know you were curious about it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it.
Cool.
Nope, that's it.
Scott Guthier, my friend, what you been playing, man?
A lot of the same.
Okay.
I did, however, give Deceit a shot.
Deceit.
Deceit. It's think everybody's been playing Dead by Daylight, right? Where it's kind of an asymmetrical,
like survival horror. Yeah.
Survival horror game. Well, Deceit is a similar styled game.
Okay.
But with its objective almost completely separate.
Okay.
So what you're doing here is a certain number of you are infected. 1 in 3 the game says. So depending on the lobby is generally 6 players. You go through roughly 3 stages of a map where you're trying to find out which person is infected. Now, this is a first-person shooter perspective type game.
Okay. So
think Mafia, but mixed in with a bit of a zombie vibe.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm getting.
And in a first-person shooter type thing.
Okay.
So
you're like in an insane asylum?
You can be. There's different maps.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking at screenshots, that's why. Okay.
So a third of the group is infected, and you just have to figure out who?
Pretty much. And the way the gameplay kind of rolls down is when you're infected, all of your objects and your people kind of light up, so you have visual awareness of where people are. So if you can go ahead and do the things you need to do without anybody noticing, that is how you know that you can do them.
So what kind of
When
objectives?
you're not infected, everything is regular. You
Yeah.
have no sort of vision. The only way you can kind of get that is if you have something like a tracer, and I'll explain more of this later.
Okay.
The general objective for the infected is there is a day and night side, not a day and night, but there's a lights on, lights off cycle
Okay.
to every section of the map, which is timed. When basically during the day cycle, the people who are trying to figure out who the infected are also trying to arm themselves to deal with the infected while the lights are off, because the infected can transform when the lights are off.
Oh, okay.
And your objective here is to run around, get a fuse, put it in a fuse box, and move on to the next section. So before you get killed by an infected.
Okay.
That's
How what are the intervals of lights on, lights off? Is it like 5 minutes or?
I don't know.
Okay. Enough time, I assume.
I would hope so.
So, what happens next? So
but-
phase 2 is when you.
So before we get into any of the phases, as the infected, what you're supposed to do the entire time is, in order to transform, you have to drink a certain amount of blood. Whenever you do that, there's blood bags around, right?
Okay.
That's just how that happens.
Okay.
So it's
I didn't know if you
not
were like
only do the blood bags disappear from view, of course, because you're consuming it.
Yeah.
So people know where the blood has been taken from if
Cool.
they see it, because the thing that holds it still stays there.
Mm-hmm.
And they can also hear it if you're too close.
Ooh, I like that. Hear you suckling up some blood.
Right. So that's sort of the
That's
whole
awesome.
that's sort of the whole thing right there.
Yeah.
And the whole shakeup happens the second those lights hit, because there's once they're transformed, you do have a gun. You can shoot them down if they're transforming too close to you, but you have got a limited amount of bullets, and they do not stay down for good.
Oh, nice.
And they can just the second they pop up, they can just retransform.
And if they get you, they kill you, or do you become?
If they get you, they kill you. They are about 2 to 3 times as fast as you.
Mm.
And if they are running at you, you generally do not have enough time to shoot them down.
Nice. Very intense. I like that. So, if you're the infected, do you want to take everybody out like right away, or do you want to kind of wait it out?
So here's the thing: during the daytime, if you think somebody's infected, you can just shoot them.
Oh, great.
And if you get the majority of players that just shoot that person, like if they can just drop on the ground and you shoot them, that you eventually have voted them out.
Okay, cool.
And either voting all the infected out or escaping through the third phase is how you win as a non-infected.
Okay. As an infected, though.
As an infected, it's killing as many people as you can.
Cool.
Because it's you not only get points based off of what is it? You don't only get points based off of just doing the random things. It's just per person you kill. So it's you can win against players and not just the other team.
Yeah. And it's 6 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is cool. Where did one of your friends just point this out to you, and you're like, oh, I'll try this?
I think Tony played it with a couple people like 2 years ago.
It's like from
Since
2017.
Yeah. So when Dead by Daylight came out, it's like, why are we playing that? We could just play this instead. And we gave it a shot. It was pretty fun. It was pretty hard to get the grips on it, but
yeah, I like the like mafia kind of games where you're just kind of deceiving each other and rolling with it. So that's cool. This is a cool idea for a game. I'd be curious if like they may added it up to more players and how chaotic that could get. Cool. Anything else on Deceit?
Not much. We didn't play too much.
Mm-hmm.
There's more that I didn't get into with the how the items work and whatnot, but you got the basic general idea of it.
Yeah, it sounds fun as heck though. It's free to play also.
It is, and it's pretty difficult to play both sides.
Yeah, it sounds
which is
like
nice.
it. Yeah.
Like if you don't know what you're doing as the infected, you're screwed. If you don't know what you're doing as the other portion,
you're definitely screwed. I can tell you that for sure. Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate that challenge. It seems like they balanced it pretty well. What else have you been playing, Scott? Anything? Trying to think.
Not too much of note. I'm still on the Animal Crossing bandwagon.
Hell yeah, dude. Me too. Tony fucking sold his Switch. Well, he's going to. He hasn't yet.
I'm about to say, you did it already?
Yeah, it was very fast. It was a tight turnaround. Obviously, he texted us earlier that he's like, it was done. No. He told.
That.
Yeah, he might have texted me. I don't remember, but he said he had gotten bored of Animal Crossing, and I'm having a great time. I'm with you, Scott. We had a nice little Animal Crossing stream this week. George, you were there.
Yeah, it was very good. It was a good time.
Joey
Nice.
Noel,
You got all your chores done. You got your what is it? Terraforming tools.
Yeah, I got my terraforming tools.
I don't have that.
I'm customizing my island now. I gotta show you, Scott. I'm actually pretty proud of it. I've got like a little shopping center in the upper left, and I've got a little kind of mountain lake in the upper right of like raised up water and stuff. I'm just like having fun. Like again, like having not really gotten into the customization aspect of Animal Crossing before. Like the terraforming just makes it feel like you can really make a little kind of clubhouse vibe of your island, and it's really fun. I assume you're in the same spot. You've got all that as well.
Yeah, and that is what kind of makes this one better. I will say, in this game, for the first time, there's like no point in talking to your villagers.
Really?
Yeah.
They can like take you on like random quests. One of them, Mike was telling me, like one of his villagers, he talked to him like, "Oh, you want to go on a treasure hunt?" And they like buried treasure throughout the island, and it like initiated like this whole little mini game where you.
I wish I got anything like that.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of that either.
There's two interesting. There's two relatively interesting things that happens with my villagers, and that is, oh hey, you want this item? Sure,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yes,
free bells.
Yeah.
Or there's just this book on the ground.
Yeah, where's this book keep coming
the lost
from?
item.
Yeah.
That is it.
It's always a book.
They're a lot more interesting to watch because, like, one of my villagers, just at night, just started singing in the court in the village center.
It's true.
Yeah, I was like,
mine
hey,
do that sometimes.
that's nice. I'm gonna hang out here for a while.
Yeah.
They're good. They're really just nice as things that take up space in your island that are very cute.
Yeah,
fun.
they're sweet. Like talking to them, I found you're right, but like I found that I enjoy talking to them more this time. I don't know why.
Like sometimes they're working out or whatever the hell,
Yeah,
and
or Naruto.
sometimes
They have more out. Yeah, the best way I can explain this is they have more outward visible personality.
Yes.
But when you talk to them, they have less than before.
Yeah.
I'm not
Which is
necessarily on
like-
the same page. I think they have a lot of cool things that they can say. Like, and it helps that like I get exposed to all the weird specific shit that I just see retweeted on Twitter. So
Yeah. They also don't like you talking to them a lot. Like
that
it's
depends.
Like, yeah, one or two, and then like, oh hey, it's you again. All right,
But,
what's
like,
up?
I became good friends with this wolf lady named Sky, and she sent me a poem in the mail.
Oh.
It was really sweet. Like I got emotional when I read it because I was like, "Oh, you thought of me so much." Like, and to be fair, I'm a fucking baby, but like, I think that stuff's cool. How's your town looking now? Is it decked out? Do you have the upgraded shop?
I don't, which is weird.
Yeah, apparently it might take like 30 days before it can happen. We don't know.
is
yet.
there like an event that's supposed to happen?
No, it seems like random. What I've heard is that it's random. I've only been to one person's island that had it upgraded. Wait, Tony might have actually had it upgraded. I don't know. I'd have to ask him. But Joey Noel, her shop was upgraded. But she's also been playing it for like since February, so I don't know. I don't know if it's a time thing. Anything else you've been playing, Scott?
No, not really.
Scott, can you give me I guess an outsider but insider opinion about Valorant? I'm just curious, like if you have.
That's a great question.
Outsider is okay. So
I'm not sure you're in it. I don't think so. At least, are you?
No,
Yeah.
but no. You said it correctly. But it's
Okay.
the way I see it is this game is a mix between two games that I don't like playing.
Counter-Strike?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Counter-Strike and
sure,
Overwatch.
I'm going to. Yeah, it's like I never really liked Counter-Strike, and I've tried every version.
Really?
Okay. For that solid college try.
Yeah. Appreciated.
And I don't like Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I thought it was kind of interesting for about a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, you know what? I don't think this game is that good. And it never got any better.
This is fun because it's always the other way around. But do you think Tony's going to get into Valorant at all? Or do you...
Oh, I think a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Not a lot, but
because it's like it'll be one of those things that people enjoy playing CS:GO. People enjoy playing Overwatch when it happened. So it was one of those things where for a while, I didn't like Overwatch all that much, but I'd still give it a couple of matches.
Yeah, you had fun playing it with your friends.
Hang out with my dudes for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Until they made Overwatch real bad. And I was like, listen, y'all gotta stop.
Even I can't really defend Overwatch in the state that it's in right now, so I get you, man.
Is Overwatch 2 supposed to be this year, by the way?
We have no idea. They gave no even inkling of a date. They're putting out new characters in Overwatch still, so I really don't know.
I forgot about that until right now.
Yeah, that's a good take, Scott. I forgot that you don't like Counter-Strike, so I like Counter-Strike.
Right.
So. I'm going to be honest, as somebody who likes Counter-Strike and liked Overwatch, not really into it right now, I do want to give Valorant a shot. It's just one of those things I don't think I'm ever going to be able to, at least not in the immediate future.
And it's like I'll probably play it for a while when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a thing where I'm against first-person shooters.
Of course.
Because, got into Tarkov real deep.
Yeah.
Right.
Deep hole.
So it might be the best mix between both worlds. It might just happen to hit that, but from what I've been hearing, it's basically Counter-Strike with heroes.
Yeah. That's what it seems like.
It's not a perfect mix. It is Counter-Strike with heroes.
Yeah. That's a good question, Abishin. I appreciate that. That was a very Alex O'Neill question. I like it.
I have my moments.
You have many moments. All right. We're gonna talk about Final Fantasy VII now. So now, I just want you to take off here. We'll talk. We'll talk later, dude. You and me will talk later. George, I gotta talk at you for a little bit.
There was one more, but we'll do it next week. We got Risk of Rain 2.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Okay.
I'll see if maybe I can have Mike on next week because he loves Risk of Rain. So
yeah, Mike really likes it.
All right, George, I'm gonna talk at you about Final Fantasy VII for a while now.
Okay.
Because Nobishin's taking his headphones off. I know Scott is not as deeply invested, but
are you going to spoil the ending?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Should I talk about feelings on it or should I not? I shouldn't, right?
I mean, you can as long as you don't spoil the thing that everyone's like, oh, big brain explosion gift. That's why it's called Remake. Oh man, like that's the thing. I want to see that thing for myself because I'm tired of the takes and I just want to see it because that's the one thing everyone's
really?
like.
People have been saying that, man. Okay, so
everyone's.
Here's the honest. I've not talked about this at all, and I've specifically not tweeted about it because I just part of me fucking hates this game so much. In a way, I just wouldn't have expected. And keep in mind, like I think there's a lot of like immediate, like, my gut reaction as a purist, as someone, like, you know, I went and saw the Harry Potter movies and I was like, fuck this. You know, I walked out of those just
I get where this is going.
pissed off. And like the moment that you're talking about that I guess everyone's like talking about is I think related to that.
It is, yeah. From what I understand from the context clues, that the phrase remake is very literal.
See,
here.
you bringing that into this, like, because I hadn't really thought of that. Yeah, I guess. But so like there's a lot of stuff that they added and changed that I just don't love. That I think is just. It's just frustrating. It's like, why would you do that? like it's like one of those things where your friend is like, I'm gonna be a contrarian. Why? Because you want to be, and I get it, but you don't have to make a big deal out of it. Just be who you are. I think like that like that's my sentiment. Where it's like, Final Fantasy VII Remake wants to do things differently. Cool, just do it, man. Like. Chase that bliss. You don't have to like make a show of it. You don't have to.
Is it very loud about doing its new things?
Yes, in some cases, but it vacillates, right? And that's where my frustration. So part of me fucking hates this game. It's I would say in the grand scheme of things, it's a small part. It's maybe 10% I really dislike, and 90% of it I really like, and I would say 80% of that I love.
So here's a good question. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have tooted my own way there. But it's like somebody who's
yeah.
Here's would somebody who hasn't played Final Fantasy VII before notice it as much?
Probably not.
No, not at all.
No, not at all.
And the thing is, like, if I explain it, if you had not played, let's say, Scott, you go into this, you play the remake, you haven't played Final Fantasy VII. If I sat down to you and I was like, this is what they were trying to say, I think, you'd be like, that seems fucking stupid. I think, like, I really think
it'd be one of those things where we'd have an argument about it because I wouldn't see it.
No. It's to say it's heavy-handed would be like an understatement.
Zack Fair is alive.
Yeah, well, like, that's like, you know, that's a different thing, but that's part of it.
I'm on board.
But so like, part of me loves it because I'm like, okay, yeah, fucking shoot for the stars. You guys are gonna go wild on this, go wild, and I like that. I respect that. I think it's just like the trying to draw so much attention to it. It almost feels like it makes me trust you less. It's like the guy that is trying to like win you over with like a persuasion check, and he's
because hold on. They do all this shit, right?
Yeah.
Right? They do all this shit. Part 2 comes out. Turns out, nah, it's a lie. Actually, we're gonna work off of the old game as canon and go for it.
That's the thing, though, Scott, because we live in a world where Part 2 doesn't exist yet. And people could really respond poorly to this, and they're like, "Oh, well, I guess we're just gonna go back on everything that we set out to do."
That's true.
And so knowing that, and knowing that that's how life happens, and seeing them like throw this heavy-handed metaphor in your fucking face so much, when all like, and it's cynical, extra cynical, I would say, to say like, yeah, but you could just go back on all this word. But when that is still a possibility, that's still on the table, and they didn't make clear what they want to do with what they're doing, like, it just seems pointless. It just seems like you drew all this, you threw this big party for no one. Like, you made a big deal about a thing that you could have just done, and it would have been fine. But instead, you had to draw all this attention to it, and it's weird, and it's silly. That's the negative. I really don't want to spend too much time on the negative, because that's like, we're talking about like literally the very end of the game, and I was like, I was so frustrated, and like, it was one of those things where I was like literally lying awake at night, like, what were you trying to say to me? What point did you want to make? I don't understand. And I hate feeling like that.
To me, it sounds like it's, you know what, maybe just wait till Part 2 is out and then just
honestly,
go through
maybe.
it back
Honestly,
I
maybe,
fucking
dude.
knows.
Dude, maybe probably just do that. Everyone out there, if you have listened to this and you're like, this spoilers, I guess? No. But maybe wait.
I mean, it sounds like if you are like describe the kind of person you are, that like if you're because really they are adapting Final Fantasy VII. It sounds like
Totally.
this isn't. That's what it sounds like.
like,
Hey, we're gonna have to change some things. We're gonna have to move some things around.
I'm just gonna say it because it's gonna make a lot more sense if I do, and I'm gonna put a spoiler warning here. Nobishin's not listening, so I'm not worried about him. Spoiler warning for everyone listening here. It is more conceptual spoilers than it is actual spoilers, to be fair. But I'm gonna check the timestamps and skip ahead. Basically, they end the game by saying like it's gonna be different now. Like this is the end of Final Fantasy VII, and it's gonna go in a totally different direction now. People might not die in where this goes. People might die where this goes. Different people might die. Everything could be different. That's what they're saying. They're saying like we have changed it. This is the end of Remake.
Oh, okay.
Now you are in Final Fantasy VII. This is new now.
So what you're saying is it is a game. It is a whole game.
Yes.
Where an introductory game. Where little by little they are giving you pieces. They're like, we're messing with things a bit, and then by the end, it's all like, we were dead fucking serious that we are changing things up.
Yes, and it literally it cuts to black and says, "The unknown journey continues." That is how it ends.
Interesting.
So here's the thing, George, and since we're in spoiler territory, I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, I completely understand. Why the fuck did they do that?
Just wait. I get it. Again, like as a concept, I think that's cool. You want to do something different? Just do it. Here's where it's bad. There are these things, these little cloaked figures that you see throughout the game. And again, we're in spoiler room, and we're just doing this, so fucking don't listen to this now, wherever you are. There are these things called whispers. They're like little cloaked figures. You see them almost early on in the game. They are described as the protectors of fate, and they exist to keep destiny as it should be. So things are different, things are happening, things are kind of going differently. It's like, why are these fates, these weird cloak figures that only some people can see and some people can't, intervening, like literally creating walls that block people out and like essentially can't let them into scenes, so that way they play out the way they're supposed to, the original game played.
Right.
And at the end of the game, all these fates are surrounding Midgar.
They had a pizza party.
And you have to fight a giant fate monster to break fate and essentially break the timeline and create a new timeline. It is a enormous, absurd, heavy-handed metaphor that they could have just left out and had it been different, and it would have been fine. But instead,
so is this whole project
they've
Final
literally
Fantasy VII recoded?
Yes, it is. It is literally that. So it's literally like a whole meta thing where the Whispers of Fate are the fans keeping the game the same, and you have to fight back against fate and change fate in order. It's so stupid. Like,
so this sounds like some Tetsuya Nomura shit, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Again, that's the thing. Here's the thing with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like, the whole... Now I'm fascinated because
because part of me respects the hell out of it, but part of me hates it so much.
It's true, because like when you think about it, and this was always the thing, and I wondered this when Tetsuya Nomura was on that
so
E3
good
stage.
To talk about this. It's so good to get this on my chest.
When he was on that E3 stage, and I've never played Final Fantasy VII, I was like reflecting. I was like, it's not often that the director or the writer is asked to do the thing again, right?
But the thing is, it's not just him, man. It's the whole team is there. Katase's there.
Well, that's true. But again, so let's say that group, right? That group who came in the square and rose to power, and all right, big boy, Final Fantasy VII, here you go.
Yeah.
And then they build their legacy off that, right?
But like,
but it's to a point being is that remakes are, especially with Square Enix, and sometimes it feels like Square Enix, you're trying to you're pulling teeth from them to get.
There's a lot of
done.
Square Enix in this game, also like
So
some
it's
Final Fantasy bullshit. You know what I mean?
So the act of Final Fantasy VII Remake, when they announced it, it was such a surprise that they announced it because it is such a labor of a gift to the fans, right? That we are putting all of this effort, all of this resource, all of this money into one. It's going to be a product that's going to sell a lot. But we are going back to this thing that nobody really wanted to make, but it's the fact that you guys want it so much that we're doing it. And now it sounds like so at some point Tetsuya Nomura, Vince McMahon
fucking
woke up
claw, dude.
and was all like,
man.
"This is my fucking game. This isn't your game. I'm Final Fantasy VII, bitch.
It's like
You want to fucking change it."
But again, like, have it be different, right? Just the thing is, like, if they didn't have this big metaphor, I don't think the players would realize, oh, they're going to do something different now. I think I would have, depending on how they kind of set it up. But you'd have this big, again, it is a big, dumb boss fight. And in this boss fight, you fight 3 spirits that are literally like the future version of Cloud, Tifa, and Barret from the original from the original Final Fantasy VII final boss. Like, that's their skill set and moveset. It is so stupid. And like,
Interesting.
I want to respect, I want to love it. I want to be on like that near level shit with this, but I just think it's just too heavy-handed. It's over the top, just like all the worst parts that are new in this game. All the subtle new scenes where you get more Biggs and Wedge, you get more this, you kind of get introduced to these warmer sides of these characters, or you get more character moments. All that is so fucking good. And then like they have these scenes where Roach shows up and he's like this soldier that is like literally swinging a motorcycle around like it's paper mache, and like, you know, it's so over the top. And I like the big boss fights. I like the recreating the enemies from Final Fantasy VII in this huge bombastic way. You don't need to make this some huge meta reason why we have to change the game. You can just change it. And that's my frustration, is to just be different. Just do it. Live it.
Right.
Don't
have this whole fates shit.
Don't tell me that the fate is are the voices of the fans fighting back against this being different.
Like, just do the changes and we just live with them.
It's my fault that I have to fight a giant fucking whisper metaphor in order to be free of this, right? Like, no, like. So as a purist, it feels like it's almost like attacking me directly. Of like,
yes, right.
You are wrong for wanting this to be exactly the same. Let me tell you. And it's like, what? You did the scenes that were exactly the same, and they were so good. What do you want me to like? I don't understand. It's so like frustrating. Oh my god. To be able to talk about this is so nice. But like,
so like you said, Alex.
Here, real quick, one detail, because I'm leaving it out. A lot of the times when the Whispers of Fate touch you and you see scenes of the future, they'll show scenes from Final Fantasy VII. Almost every single time, it was the scene where Aerith dies. So it is like, it seems like all of this is to make her not die, and that's stupid.
It seems like it.
It's the whole thing. Like,
this is some wrestling fanfiction shit.
She chose her like her fate so that way she could help. Like, she did this. Like, it wasn't like a thing thrust about. Like, it was a moment that it feels like they're doing all of this just to be, just so people are okay with her not dying. And it's like,
and that's like the thing of the game,
and that's
right?
the thing of the game, and that's the thing that people want to change the most. They want to be able to. You want to be able to save Aerith, and it's like you're missing the point.
Wow.
To me.
So that scene that scene doesn't happen in this game.
No,
right?
but that you see flashes.
But you know they're going for it for this.
And it's like they're putting a fucking target on it. And it's like, so that scene presumably will still happen in some shape in the future iterations of the game, but the way we're going to get there is totally different.
The Fates guys walk out of the room like, oh, I got to go visit. I got a phone call. I got to take this.
So there's the scene where Sephiroth shows up and kills the president of Shinra. He stabs Barret, right? And he like almost kills Barret, and the Whispers of Fate come and cast Cure on him and save his life.
Right.
And it's like, to prove a point, I guess. You know, like, it's just,
this is, again, as a fucking, all the people who like, the people who write critique and like all this shit for video games must be loving Final Fantasy VII Remake. Then
I've been trying to find something to write about this game, and I don't know what to do, man.
Great, they couldn't. Oh, I love this.
And again, part of me respects the hell out of them for like, let's just go nuts with it. So
I love their gumption.
Yeah, exactly. The gumption I'm here for. I obviously would have appreciated a more soft-handed approach. And I've been thinking about it. Because I was like, I hate this. I hate it. They ruined it. I hate it. And I was like, do I really hate it? No, I don't really hate it. I like so much of this. And the thing is, like, if you hadn't done this, I would have trusted you to do stuff that's different and have it be cool. And it's, Scott, like the thing I was saying before, it's like, you had to make this big, dumb, heavy-handed metaphor. I don't trust you anymore. Like, I don't trust you to do something new and have it be interesting anymore. Because if this is what you think is interesting, then I don't know.
So do you think? Okay, so let's play that they made all these changes leading up to part 2, and out of nowhere you're blindsided with Aerith not dying. Mm-hmm. Would you be fine with that?
If they contextualized it, right? Like if it was just a thing of like we're gonna. Because you would have to. You'd be like, Cloud's like, let's get there early. Like, that you say that. Right. And then, like, suddenly it's fine. Like, I would be frustrated if it felt like there was no reason for it. But right now, the reason that they're giving for it is, like, meta and bad. So I would be more okay with that.
So I feel like people have been very good so far about not talking about this game. Like, what the new stuff that's in it, I haven't seen a lot of inkling other than people being like, the word remake, am I right, folks?
I haven't seen that. Well, I've been ignoring all dialogue in this game, so hearing that just makes me furious.
So my point being, you're the first person I've talked about this game. Do you feel like, what's the consensus? I don't know if you've talked to other people who finished the game.
I haven't.
What's the consensus? Exactly. So I don't know. I'm curious to see, like, once people are going to hit a point where they'll be like, fuck it, we're talking about it.
Do people like it? Do people hate it?
Yeah, because this is the first I'm hearing about it.
It seems like people like it, and I cannot. Everyone I see is like, I love it. And like, I put out that tweet of like, I finished it, I'm excited to see more, and that's true. And I don't like to be negative on Twitter, and that's why I was like,
sure.
I almost had a third line in that said, I fucking hated the ending.
But then it would be a whole thing. Exactly. You have 1,000 Twitter followers.
I don't want that. I never want that. I never tweet negative things because I don't want
Here's
that.
Here's the podcast.
Use the podcast. This is a conversation. I feel like I've explained well why it specifically frustrated me.
And I understand. Yeah, it's fascinating.
And here's the thing. Like, this is 10% of this game at most. So much of it is different and tonally different and like not meta. It's very like beautiful and well done. It makes
like the stuff with Jessie. Like she's just here. She's just more of a character.
She's more of a character.
We can do it.
And it's like the thing is like they don't fuck up the timeline. Like you get this whole extra thing where you go to Jessie's parents' house and it's fun and you get to hang out with Biggs, Wedge, and Jessie. But like once the second reactor happens and you fall to the Sector 5 slums and meet up with Aerith, you don't see Jessie again until the plate falls. And, like, that's still true. And so it's not like they added more of that character in, like, a weird bullshit way. It felt like it made sense. And it was great. And it fleshed that character out. The Roach stuff, I think, is bad and over the top. But, a lot of it's over the top and anime and very Advent Children-y. But it's okay. Some of it just stands out as like, this is weird. And a lot of that stuff is like when the Whispers show up or when Roach shows up and stuff like that. The other 90% of this game, I think, is honestly, the combat system in this game is one of the greatest action JRPG combat systems ever made. Hands down. It sucks that it's so imperfect because your other party members are completely useless when you're not controlling them. So like, they used the materia system, which is even better in this game, I think, than maybe in the original, which is incredible. They use it to augment that with like this synergy materia. When you do an ATB command, someone will use the materia attached to this. It's like, okay, this is like helping me automate my secondary party members so I can kind of just play Tifa the whole time, which is all I did. And she's incredible, by the way. Or like auto cure is a materia, so that person will just automatically cure anyone that's in danger, stuff like that. Like they created some really smart ways to make that work, but generally all of your kind of backup party members just don't do anything, and you have to kind of be switching all the time. Once you get in the habit of that, I think it starts to make a lot of sense, and it feels really great. But that it just sucks that the combat is not perfect, but it's so close to being it. If you could just set up like a gambit system for your backup party members of like, hey, just kind of behave like this or switch to this behavior when I need you to do this. Like if there was like some kind of tactics menu or anything, the game would benefit so much from it. But it just doesn't have that. But like, you have skill trees in the form of like your weapons. Each weapon has a skill tree that gives you more HP, more attack, more this, more that. Each weapon has a skill, kind of like Tales of Vesperia that you're playing right now, and those skills are your special moves, right? So like every time you get a new weapon, it's like, oh, I get a new special ability. It's very exciting. It's super great. The remake moments are incredible. Like the visuals are incredible, except there's like a ton of texture pop in. Some textures just never load. It just don't happen.
Yeah, I've seen that this has streaming issues.
Yeah, it's rough. It's like it sucks so much that I think for me, I just wanted so much for this game to be perfect, and it is so just. It's not bad. It's in fact it is not even just good. I think it's still great to amazing to stellar, but it's just very much not perfect. It is like blatantly imperfect in a way that it almost flaunts it in front of you, and it's a bummer for someone that like put this on a pedestal for so long. But I'm cool with it not being perfect. It's just like all those little things.
I guess it sucks that there's more of it that you have to see. I guess. Or I mean, what? It's weird.
I like whatever the next Final Fantasy VII trailer is going to determine a lot of feelings for me. You know what I mean? Like, because they did all this that I explained to you, this metaphor that they did, and then it ends. The game's over, and it's like, well, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do now.
Yeah,
right. Like you told me in as heavy-handed a way as you could, it's gonna be different, but you didn't tell me how, why, or in what way.
And if anything else, they have the pressure's on now, because now the honeymoon of this thing is real in some regard, right? It's not the same, but at least how I feel like now. Okay, now you have to. Now it's out, right? This is not a full-on remake of that game. This is a reimagining adaptation of that game, and we have more to go to. And now you know what the game looks like and all that. So all that stuff, the expectation, not the expectation, but like it's inherently less impressive. Like now coming back, right? Because now you have like, oh, I played the beginning of the game, all the characters. So I feel like now they only have to lose.
Yeah, exactly. This just puts so much pressure on them too. It just seems like it's such a bad idea. Like you could have had it end, and then like the unknown journey continues, and people wouldn't have got it, but I would have gotten it, and I would be like, oh, it's gonna be fucking weird now. All right, whatever. It's weird. I will say this: the characters are incredible. Tifa has never been better. Aerith has never been better. Say what you will about Barrett. I know. Problems with the voice. Not me that has problems with that, but I got rep the Jarrett Green and his problems with the voice and the kind of stereotypicalness of it. For me,
and his hair,
it's perfect. I think they just nailed exactly who I would want Barrett to be, and that's like this passionate, over the top dude. What I didn't expect, and Cloud's obviously amazing. What I didn't expect to be great, but is also great. Red 13 is also great. Not in a lot of the game, but they just nailed him so well, and I was so excited.
Is that the dog?
He's the dog, and he's great. He's got such a calm voice. So yeah, the characters really carry that game for me. It plays so well. I really loved it. I wish it didn't have to end in such a way that would frustrate me, but like getting over it a little bit. Like again. Almost all of that game is great, and I'm gonna replay it for sure. And it's very. I wish I could love it with no qualm. I wish I could no hesitations, just love it. But I have qualms. I have issues. So
interesting. I wonder what Jared Green thinks.
I have to talk to Jared about this game. Like, I talked to Scott about it, and he's like, I thought you wouldn't like how it ended. And I was like, I feel like I don't want to be like the cynic guy. Like, that's never the role I want to play. But, you understand at least where I'm coming from with this. So.
Sure, yes. Interesting.
All right, I'll message Nobishin that
Yeah.
he can put his.
And I'm gonna have to go soon, so maybe once Nabishin comes back, I have to cook dinner, folks.
Yeah, you
This is-
do.
Yeah.
I'll tell him now. You can. Nobishin. But that's Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Wow, I love that. I love talking about it with you.
It feels so
That's
good to talk
fascinating.
about it.
That's fascinating.
I'm sorry to people, and I guess we went offline or something, but the people that eventually listen and hear this, like, I'm sorry that it ended up having to be a spoiler conversation, but come back when you finished it, and hopefully you can hear my thoughts. I also the only other thing I've been playing, Resident Evil 3, we talked about that. Animal Crossing, we talked about it. It had so much fun. The Animal Crossing stream was so much fun. Nabishin, you're back, right?
Yeah.
Don't listen to this podcast. It turned into a whole spoiler conversation, so just don't go back to
I mean,
the
I saw your
archive.
hands flying everywhere.
Yeah,
so,
you
like,
knew. You
got
said,
into
once
it.
this happened, you were like, "Oh, he's on the spoilers." I have not talked about it at all, like publicly at all about it, so it was cathartic. I'll let you, just so you know, it was a cathartic conversation for me.
I get you, man.
I'm so excited to talk to you about it. It's gonna be
Interesting.
Great. We're gonna have so much
Cool.
fun.
And I'm gonna probably head out now. So what's the bet? And what?
Oh yeah, let's. George, did you get a partner for bets yet?
I don't think so.
Let me look back here because I have the old bets.
Who's my partner?
You've got Quinn.
Right.
Scott and Scott,
Right.
Tony and Mike, Jared and
Jared.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
George, I think you do not have a partner yet.
Okay.
So you're our wild card. You're the odd man out. So I'm gonna let you choose who do you want to bet with. Essentially, every time you're on the show, you're gonna bet with one of the four of us. You could choose Tony since he's not here. You could choose any of the three of us. What you want?
I'm gonna go with Nabishin.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, we were right about Resident Evil 3, so I guess it works.
Yeah.
These fucking kids. This week's bet, and I should pull up Twitch real quick so we can have a point of reference for this. This time next, now I initially wrote this last week for when Brant was going to be on. This time next week, so Saturday of next week, how many live viewers will Valorant have?
Ooh, what's it at right now?
So right now it's at 558K. Now keep in mind, last weekend it was at over 1 million, and that's why the kind of inciting for the bet. Not many games reach those numbers on Twitch, so we'll just get yours, George, and we'll get the rest later. But y'all can think about it while we get through the rest of the show.
Okay. So it drops by half this week.
But it's still high. 558,000 is a lot. What do you think, George?
I'm gonna go 400,000. I don't think it's gonna have another half drop.
Respectable bet. I like it. All right, George, thank you so much for taking the time coming on. Go enjoy dinner with Don and Joe. We love you
I gotta
very
cook
much.
this. Let's see how this goes. Tikka masala.
Ooh, nice. All right, have a good one,
Take
man.
care, everyone.
Bye, man.
Bye.
All right, so the only other game I've been playing is Persona 5 Royal. I have now.
Should I leave again?
No, this is short. Where are you at in Persona 5 Royal? Just for my point of reference, Notion.
Like I literally just finished Kusaba's Palace. I'm literally about to go to Hawaii again. There you go.
Nice. The funny thing is when I played through that again, I thought like they added stuff for that. They didn't. I just missed it the first time. Did you know when you're in Hawaii you can hang out with like Hifumi?
Yeah.
I didn't know that the first time I played it. So I did that when I played Royal, and I was like, oh, this is a really sweet scene. But you can also hang out with An if you've romanced her, and Kawakami if you've romanced her, which is super cool. I looked into a lot more of that stuff this time around. But yeah, Persona 5 Royal, I want to hear just a little bit from you, Noption, if that's okay. We're gonna switch over to you to say, okay, fine. But I'm wrapping up my second playthrough. I did a New Game Plus playthrough, and just loving it, man. Just absolutely loving it. I'm trying to think if I forgot any other games and I don't think I have. I will say Barrett finished it and he texted me about it, so I get to let off some steam. So,
That's good. I'm sorry I'm not there.
No, I want you to take absolutely as much time as you need. You know I do, so don't you worry about it. Because then you'll finish this, we'll be able to talk about this, then you'll play Final Fantasy, and then we'll be able to talk about that. So it'll just be.
I so like the only thing I'll say about it, like I so want to play Final Fantasy, but like it's literally like
you can't stop, man.
It's too all consuming, man. Like
I know
it's my job and it's that like it's nothing else for me.
Yeah, I totally know. It's but the thing is, it's kind of great though, just to lose yourself to that game because it is just It's comfort. It's like I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm running around Japan, just having a great time. So yeah, once you finish it and you've like powered through it, though, I don't know. I like doing that with Persona 5, at least this most recently, because there are so many like little subtle details, and it's like, oh, I haven't forgotten that because it was 100 days ago. Like I remember that still. So. What you been playing, Option? Is it just Persona 5 Royal? You said you played Resident Evil 3, I guess. So.
Yeah, that's like not necessarily my break game, but like I'll step away from Persona a little bit and play a little bit of that, and like I said, that game's been awesome for me. I've been loving it. It has issues, it's stuff I really don't. I'm not too keen on, but like
sure.
I enjoy the hell out of Resident Evil 3. Like Jill is so fucking awesome.
Jill is so good in that game, dude.
Yeah,
even
dude.
Carlos, I didn't like him at first, but I really came around to him.
And the thing about I'm completely blind about Resident Evil 3 as far as like the story or even like the events that even happened to it. So like I've been enjoying that, and like learning about the stuff that's been cut out. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like I wonder if like how would it look like in this game. But like, oh well. But yeah, like I've been enjoying all the characters. I've been enjoying like the story and the moments of the game. It's been super cool for me. Like Nikolai is like a generic bad guy, I guess you would say, because like I don't know anything about him, and like he doesn't even say anything.
He shows up and he's like, "I'm the bad guy," and you're like, "Okay." But it's kind of great. Like he's like almost like a Die Hard villain, like from some like '90s action movie or something.
Yeah, totally.
It's fun. It fits the tone of that game.
Mm-hmm. But I'm totally just enjoying it, just for what it is. Warts and all. Like I just saw like Jurge's review of it, and like apparently that game has like a ton of like unlockables and stuff like that. As far as like you're playing like basically like a 6-hour game, but like they give you reasons to keep replaying it for like the stuff you unlock, like get Jill's classic costume from like Resident Evil 1, and like all these like weird weapons you can have in that game like afterwards, and it's like this super cool stuff that's like, oh, if I want to keep replaying this, like they'll give me something to fulfill me for that. Like it's completionist dream is what he's.
That's cool, because I was thinking like this being as short as it is and just as fun as it is, because it's so fun. I might play through a couple more times. So because I ended up actually playing Resident Evil 2 like 4 times, like one AB and the other AB.
Oh, okay.
And I really like because I went back and replayed it toward the end of the year, and I still really liked it. Not my favorite game.
Right.
I had a lot of games last year that I ended up really liking. But it's fun that like you said, like that formula is it's just great. It's just like
so much fun.
Absolutely my shit. Like, and then like they're talking about this possible Resident Evil 8 that could be coming out next January. Of just like we're just doing it again. It's like cool. I'll buckle up for anything in RE Engine. So
I definitely did like try Resident Evil 4 before that supposed maybe possible remake is happening. So like get the full extent of that, because like I've always done the beginning part, the village part, which is awesome, is great, it's super fun, but like I never got past that as far as Resident Evil 4. Yeah, I never really got past like maybe like the first 2 hours of the game.
It's funny, like the last part I really dislike, but I think there's some really, like the castle is like the middle section, like there's the town, then chapter 2 is the town at night, and then the castle, I think. And the castle is really cool. Like it has some cool puzzles, some cool set pieces, cool just area design. It's worth seeing. It is like a lot of the character for RE4 for me.
Yeah, it's really weird with that game with me. Like besides me like being like, people have said to me that I'm a big Resident Evil fan. Like, and I am. Like I love the first one, like that and Remake. I love 5. but like those are like the only ones I really know. Like I never really knew 2. I never really played 2
Yeah.
on PlayStation, and like playing 2 Remake is obviously like really great. I love that. But four's always been like something like I just know moments of it, but I never really actually seen parts of it. Like I know the fishing part. I know fighting that one super tall guy who turns like into a mantis type of thing for a boss fight. I know the Napoleon looking guy.
Yep.
But I never really seen the end of that game. I know like Ashley section. I know the knife fight.
Do you know
like,
the final boss?
I don't really know the final boss in that game.
Oh man, it's like such a moment. I remember like when I got to it, I was like, "Oh, this moment," because I feel like I've seen it parodied like 20 times or something. But it's one of those kinds of moments.
Gotcha.
So, but I think it's funny. The very end of that game I think is cool, but it's just like the last chapter, like because you're on like this island. I think it's super lame. You're fighting like zombies with guns basically, and it's like, all right, this is why are you shooting at me in like a weird like it's so weird, but. Yeah, it's worth playing. I for sure before a remake, I'd love to see like before and after thoughts from you.
Yeah.
And Persona 5 Royal, just chucking away. How many hours are you in at that point?
I checked. It was like 59 hours, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Almost halfway there. Like what a great feeling that is too. Like I'm like, oh yes, let me
there's
settle
so much
in.
game left. Like my god,
I know it's like super weird. Like because. With it being longer, it like kind of makes the Okumura dungeon like the halfway point instead of the Futaba dungeon, and it's like, oh, there's a lot left, baby. And it's funny like having now replay that game. Like the back half of it is just paced so crazy fast, but like that first half is just so chill. You just have a good time.
Like when I eventually beat this game. And obviously when we have our fireside chat, and maybe we'll get Barry on it. I don't know. We'll do something.
He texts me about it all the time. I want you to know he's like, I just want to be on the fireside chat with Persona 5. Like, just tell Nabashin, like, I just want to be on that one. Can you ask him if it's okay? And I was like, dude, I know he will say it's fine.
But like, when we do this this talk that we're gonna have, like, I think we need to like tier the confidants in that game.
Ooh.
Like I'm thinking, other than having like thoughts about it, like it's like really going back to it and like really liking characters and like realizing I'm not liking characters as much as I used to. Like, because I used to say like I there was no bad characters in there, and that's still true. There's no real bad.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, like I'm realizing like Mishima, like I always skip you.
Mishima
like you're gonna be like
yeah.
Like you're like there's always like you're always there. You're always up for me to rank you up, but I always skip you. I always go to someone else.
I think that's the only confidant they didn't touch the skills on too. Like I'm sure you've probably noticed like they've kind of updated just everything. And Mishima, they're like, that's fine. Don't worry about it. He's just fine, Totally, yeah. But like totally. Chihaya, like some of her moments, I think are a little less interesting and stuff like that. Yeah. But can we? Since you've started seeing it, that Akechi social link though, man. Have you spent time with it?
Yeah, like I just had like see, we're talking about it, which I didn't.
I know. I just a little, just a little tease. I that's all.
I just had like a bathhouse social link with him, and I thought that was like really cool. Just like as far as like us just talking, and it's like what like. I like you a lot more. I like him a lot more than I did in the OG game. So
it's a lot of the same stuff. It's just like you get to choose to hang out with him. That and like the way context helps a lot. I think like it's like, oh yeah, I feel like these guys like would hang out a lot more now versus the other, originally where it was like okay, it was kind of like by happenstance. Totally.
Like not. See, but like it's kind of like it reminds me of Akechi a little bit, but like it feels a little bit more fleshed out of a character and more of like
reminds you of Adachi, you mean?
Adachi, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Interestingly similar knit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But like it's like because like you could tell like he was like brought in as far as like in Golden as far as like fleshing him out more as a character, and it feels like this is like there's a little bit more care as far as like fleshing out who he is, like where he comes from, his background, and why you're more connected to this character than it was before. So totally. I really like it.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm excited for you to keep playing. I think obviously. it's great that they just like made it a thing where it's like you just get new shit all the time. You know, there's just new stuff here, new stuff there. You got have you played the darts mini game?
Dude,
I love it, right?
It's
so good. I'm like, why do I like it? It's fine. Like, it's simple. And it was, I tell you, the weirdest, because there's a darts mini game in Final Fantasy 7. I was like, man, the 30 hours of darts I played in Persona 5 really prepared me for this. Such a weird, like, 2 back-to-back JRPGs with darts, and it's like, this is weird. Video games are so weird, but I love them. So.
God, man, like I want to play Final Fantasy 7 so bad, but I can't.
I get it, man. It's like a plethora, you know. You got a lot to look forward to, at least. So
it's funny too, because like I was thinking like with like with the world we're in now and like everything getting delayed, I was like, man, what is the next game after like when Final Fantasy 7 drops? And like there's really
nothing,
much,
dude.
like there's like
Ghosts of Tsushima, you know, like what?
Yeah, that's not coming out that time,
Yeah.
but like Streets of Rage just got announced for like the end of April,
30th,
so that's probably that's probably something I'll get into. But like, there's really nothing else really that like I can really think of. Not even indie wise, I can really think of that's like coming out. That
I know it sucks so
anytime soon.
much. It's like, well, I guess a third Persona 5 playthrough does sound pretty good right about now. But yeah, no, it's a bummer. Like it's just like thinking like The Last of Us could have been out a month from now. And now it's gone forever, like indefinitely. It's like, okay, it'll just come out eventually. It's like, yeah, we finished it. And it's just, it's like my whole thing with them say that, and it just being like the most anticipated I was looking forward to next, is like, how do you re-announce the release date now? Do you do you give it like a week? Do you give it 2 weeks? Do you give it 6 months? Like, I don't know what you do now. So it's weird.
Right.
Is it this year? It must be.
It has to be.
Yeah, what a weird.
They hold on to it forever.
Forever! They could just do that! It's going in the vault, actually. We actually threw that one. No one gets to know how Ellie goes, But yeah, it's a weird time. That's why I'm hoping like a bunch of indies start dropping. Like, it seems like they're going to. But like, man, would now be like a perfect time for Hollow Knight Silk Song to just come out,
Or Super Meat Boy Forever.
Yeah, Jesus, right?
Jesus
now
Christ.
of all times, we need it. Yeah. So something, please make something happen. But that's the thing. Like, I'm probably gonna replay Final Fantasy 7, and I'm gonna replay a lot of games. I'm like, I was hankering because 33 years ago. Today, Nabashin, Kingdom Hearts Remind came out. So
Right.
I was like, a full series playthrough of Kingdom Hearts actually sounds really fucking dope right now. So I think that might be on the agenda. I was also thinking Tales of Vesperia because I'm a psychopath.
That is crazy that Remind came out this year. Like,
right, years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy that came out this year. It's not like it lost any impact on me or something like that,
Totally,
but like
no.
it's just something that like is the furthest from my mind because of like everything that's happened in the world and like Persona and Final Fantasy.
Yeah, totally. And it was January. It was the end of January. It's 2.5 months ago, man. Like,
Oh
what are
my
we
God.
doing? Yeah, it's weird. That's a podcast. We did it.
Yeah.
I don't think we got any questions this week, so let me double check. Thank everybody for tuning in. I guess this one might actually not be live right now. The internet is having a hissy fit, so apologies if anyone wanted to tune into this one live, but we appreciate it. Some folks stopped by and said hi, so I very much appreciated it. Thank you. I was getting into the thank yous pretty early. If you would like to be part of the show, you can do so in a variety of ways. Send us an email, mailsack at irrationalpassion.com. Leave us a voicemail at 404-590-1337. Or send us your tweets at irrationalpod. You can also follow the site and this show on Twitter at irrationalpod. Check out our other new podcast, A Trip to Nintendo Land, hosted by Mike Burgess. Very excited. Our monthly Nintendo podcast. You can follow Nabashin and myself on Twitter. We're active over there. I am at Alfighter27. Nabashin is at NABESHIN186. George is at JCruz, CRUZ Alvarez 26. If you like this stuff, please rate and review us wherever you're listening to it. If you want to see our videos, like the video version of this and other videos that we do, like indie highlights and whatnot, just search for Irrational Passions either on YouTube, Twitch. We're trying to stream more because of the quarantine stuff. So if you follow us on Twitch, hopefully there will be more stuff there. We've been doing it pretty much every week, so we're going to keep on with that. Once I'm moved into my new place as well, I'm hoping to have a more comfortable setup to just get up and running with that too. And that's it. Everything else is on irrationalpassion.com. We've reached the end of the show, which means it's time for bets.
Mm-hmm.
This week's bet, as a reminder, this time next week, how many Twitch viewers will Valorant have? As a reminder, it's about 550,000 right now. You had some time to think. Nobshin, what are you feeling?
450.
Got it.
Nelson.
Scotty.
230.
430. Right in the middle. I like that. It's a dangerous bet.
230.
230.
Yeah.
Okay, 230. I'm going to say 600K.
You think it's going to go up?
I think it's going to go up. It's like a guess. It's very much like maybe shot in the dark, So we'll see. Last week's bet. What will the Open Critic average review score for Final Fantasy VII Remake be? Do you know this off the top of your head, Nobshin?
I think it's like 88.
It is 88. Nice, dude. I'd bet 92. Nobshin bet 92. That's right. I forgot about solidarity together. Tony bet 91. Mike bet 93. Both betting for Tony to scoop us. So Tony got it. Tony's not even here to gloat. But man, so now the totals are out. I have 3 points. Nobshin has 3 points. Scott, you have 1 point. Tony has 3 points as well. It's way closer than I thought it would be. Tony's not here for a final word, but I imagine he would tell you to go play Persona 5 because that's what he's doing right now. He texts
final word.
Are you sure if you were to ask him right now, he would say, "Hey, yo, fuck Discord."
He would actually say "fuck Discord" probably because that's the reason why we were having some mic troubles. So, but we love you, Tony. Thank you everybody for listening through, for following, for supporting us. It's very weird for me. The last podcast here, like Greg Miller was in this house. This was a spot for Irrational Passions otherwise. So, in a lot of ways. So on to hopefully greener pastures.
Write something about it.
I might. I've been so busy. Like I've been up literally since 8:00 this morning, moving, like packing a truck full of boxes and filling up boxes of stuff. So, but we're hopefully gonna get it all done tomorrow. So then I'll be, and the internet is moving from here to there tomorrow. So it'll no downtime is the goal. I tried to make that happen. But that's the show. Thanks to Danny Wiesner for our opening music of Two Player Co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. Thank you, Nobshin. Thank you, Scott, for joining me as always. Thanks, George, for hanging out. Thank you, Tony, for trying. I'm sorry Discord did not agree with you. We love you all very much. I love you boys. Big hugs all the way around. Didn't say that last episode, and I felt weird about it. But here we are. We're back. Redemption. I've been Alex O'Neill. Play your games. Stay rational. We will talk to you all next week. Oh, there are titles down here. Scott, do you want to read the titles?
You have to give me a minute, but yeah.
Here, I'll shoot you that Google Doc.
I don't know if you said anything crazy during the Final Fantasy talk. So
I said a lot of crazy things during the
there was a lot. To be honest, there's a lot of spoilery shit to be pulled from.
Yeah, we can pull some spoiler stuff, but it's not worth it now. So
sure.
Whenever you're ready, Scott.
All right, we got moving on to Gamma, suckling up some blood. Scott's outsider insider opinion.
I like that too. I like moving on to Gamma. Obviously, I'm biased, but I like that. I think Gamma comes after Delta. I'm not sure. What do you like, Scott?
Suckling up some blood.
It's really good. It just sounds funny.
I'm with Scott on that one.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say the episode number. Scott, do you want to say the title?
Sure.
You're listening to Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 463.
Suckling up some blood.
That's very good. Well, I'm ending the stream. Hopefully it worked. We'll see. Either way, I've been recording locally to my computer. So thanks everybody for watching. Bye.